Hey guys, Joshua here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the BenQ Zowie XL2546. Just a quick tidbit before we begin. For those of you that didn't know this, Zowie was acquired by BenQ a few years back, and the Zowie branded devices are all focused on esports, so just a little information for those of you wondering if BenQ and Zowie are the same brand. So technically Zowie is now a brand under BenQ, so that's why I said the BenQ Zowie XL2546. Before I get started, I'm just going to say this monitor is designed for esports, so if you're just a casual gamer, some of the functions and specifications may not apply to you, but for professional esports gamers, these can be important because it saves them a lot of time when at the LAN, and every second of practice or warm up before a big game counts. This is a 24.5-inch display monitor which is perfect for competitive gamers because the screen isn't too wide that you have to look at things out of your peripheral vision, but with this screen size you can see everything on your screen without even moving your head left or right, like say with a 34-inch screen. And the design of this monitor is pure black with slight hints of red here and there with a Zowie logo on the back. For ports, on the back bottom there's a DVI-DL port, 2 HDMI ports, a single DP port, a USB upstream pass-through, and on the back side, headphone and mic jack and 2 USB 3.0 downstream ports. The stand base is actually pretty small and has a rectangular base, so you can slide your keyboard all the way up to it and it will sit there comfortably. Why you may want to do that, I'll get to that later, but it is very sturdy. They've made the monitor VESA compatible at 100 by 100mm, so that's pretty good. The stand is fully adjustable for height, tilt, and swivel. And a very nice touch is that you can mark your preferred settings with the dials and markings that are already inbuilt. This is especially important for the pros because if you have to keep adjusting the monitor every single time you go to a different competition, it's definitely going to be a pain. But with these, you just record what were your angles and tilt and you're good to go in 30 seconds flat. There are 2 shields on the side that you can install, and these are meant to keep your focus on the game and not get distracted by other things that may float into your peripheral vision when you're gaming. The bezels on the XL2546 are also quite thick and not thin at all. Let's talk about the entire exterior design for a bit before going into the internal specs. So far, it looks pretty normal as far as screens go, but there are some subtle things that make this a very esports-centric monitor. The smaller rectangle base for the keyboard to push all the way up against, because if you watch CSGO, you'll realize that the way the pros play is that they like to keep their keyboards all the way at the stand at an angle and tilt the monitor to face themselves. So this monitor makes it very easy for them to do that, and like I mentioned, the dials to remember all the settings that the players prefer are very nice. The thick bezels are there because according to research that BenQ and Zowie did, it becomes easier for people to focus on art when there is a frame around it. So taking that idea, the thick bezels and shield help pro gamers focus on the game without distractions, especially when you're at the LAN and there's a crowd in front of you, so you may sometimes get a bit distracted if you are not a seasoned pro. Sure, the bezels being thicker may not look as nice, but hey, if it wins you some tournaments, who's complaining? If you're paying attention, you'd notice that there is a round indentation in the stand. This is actually for the S-switch to sit that is included, and with it, you can actually save your preferred settings under the picture mode and then going to gamer 1, 2, 3. You can then switch between the different profiles just by clicking on the buttons. So you have one setting for CSGO, another for Fortnite, and one for Overwatch if you're playing all the different games. It also helps to navigate the OSD, so on-screen display much faster because of the scroll wheel and the clickable buttons. Moving on to internal specifications. The BenQ Zowie XL2546 is a 24.5-inch TN panel that has a 1920 by 1080 resolution and can go up to 240Hz, which is insanely fast. It has a 16 by 9 aspect ratio, a 1000:1 contrast ratio, and a 1 ms response time. The monitor has all your usual controls, brightness, contrast, and everything else, and they're all easily controlled by either the controls on the screen at the bottom or through the S switch. Anyway, I won't focus on these basic controls, but I will be looking at some of the more unique features that the monitor has to offer. The black equalizer is essentially a setting that makes the shadows brighter while maintaining the brightness of the other parts of the scene. So like in CSGO, if you were to turn up just your brightness to see into the shadowy areas, the walls and floor may get really bright because there is light on these areas. Color vibrance I found is most useful in a game like PUBG, where generally the colors are very dull, but with the vibrance setting a bit higher, the scene does look a bit nicer because the colors are more prominent. On to the 240Hz. Not many monitors have 240Hz, so this is definitely very special, and personally to me, for casual and normal gamers, we really don't need such a high refresh rate because we don't really notice the difference. But if you're looking to play competitively in FPS games, then this would then be very important, because CSGO players, especially when watching their streams, I've heard them talking about how the different refresh rates really make a great difference between getting a kill or not, especially when they are strafing and spraying. There is also an advanced motion acceleration setting which you can adjust, and at the premium it gives the lowest input lag, but to be honest, I didn't feel there was any difference between the settings, so yeah, but it's there if you need it. Last but most importantly is a technology which is proprietary to BenQ Zowie, so no other brand has this, and it's their dynamic accuracy technology, or DyAc. Basically, it helps by adding clarity to moving objects on the screen, so it's supposed to enhance your spread control and recoil control in games to be more accurate. It is impossible to catch this on camera, so you will have to try and find a retailer that has this in store on display, but when I turned it on with CSGO and Overwatch, it definitely feels like it has become a lot easier to strafe and shoot while maintaining accuracy, which is really interesting because this could mean a certain degree of enhanced capabilities if you're using this monitor. A bit like pay to win just because of this tech. Granted, this could be a placebo effect, but it sure didn't feel like it. Conclusion time. The BenQ Zowie XL2546 comes in at 749 SGD, so to be honest, I think it is actually very reasonable for all the specs that you're getting. 240Hz, the dynamic accuracy technology, and all the minor details that help to enhance your gameplay in meaningful ways, like the S-switch for fast profile switching, dials to remember your settings. All these things come together in a very premium package. And if this helps you to win a few tournaments because it is technically an unfair advantage because of all these specs coming together, hey, it will pay for itself. Okay, just to be clear, I'm not saying that this monitor will make you a top frag player like Kenny S or Ninja, because if you're talented, you're talented. And like me, I fully admit that I'm not the best at FPS games, my reaction speeds are just not fast enough, but having used this monitor for quite a while, it is definitely a game changer literally. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of this monitor? Will this be your next go-to monitor on the road to becoming an esports professional? I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Like and subscribe for more tech and gaming content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!